Today I've got a delicious salmon recipe for you. We're gonna be glazing up an entire fillet of salmon. It's so pretty. Look at that beauty. Hey y'all, it's Danielle, Bennett, also known as Diva Q, and we're coming to you from the Traeger kitchen. And today I've got a delicious salmon recipe for you. I've been making this for years for my family, and I thought I'd share it today with you. And it's a lot of really good flavors. This has got ginger, orange, garlic, sesame oil, lots of delicious flavors, and we're gonna be glazing up an entire fillet of salmon. So I'm gonna get a pot, because we actually build the glaze first. We want the glaze to come down in temperature a little bit. So I've got a pot. We're gonna be putting this on the induction cooktop, but I'm gonna show you all the ingredients I'm going to work with. The first thing, I need a couple of tablespoons of finely chopped fresh mint. If at all possible, if you can get delicious fresh mint, it is a great addition to this dish. So we're gonna start with the mint. And once again, today we are doing salmon. Now, if you don't like salmon, you can of course use another firm fleshed fish that you really like. I would recommend also, this works well with cod. It also works well with trout. Highly recommend those. So we've got a little pile of mint going on here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop this really finely. We're gonna get it into our pot. I made a little pile here, a little squishy pile. We're gonna get it really chopped up well. You know, this is a glorious side of salmon. It's thick, it's luscious, it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna show you some trimming tricks that'll actually make it even more moist. So we just need a couple of tablespoons of this mint, nice and finely chopped. This adds a lot of brightness to the recipe. I love the smell of this. All right, so we're gonna get that into the pot. Now, while I've got the knife out, I'm actually gonna cut an orange next. This is a navel orange. You can use clementines, you can use lemons, you can use limes. It's really up to you. I like using a lot of delicious citrus on all of my fish. I love to do nice slices like this, because after the glaze goes on my fish, I'm gonna lay these slices right on top of the fish and give it more flavor. Now, here's the thing. Here's a tip, everybody. Do not put any of your citrus on your fish the night before. The acid in the actual beautiful citrus will cook the fish ahead of time. So you don't want to do that. Set that to the side. Let's go back to our pot. Now, here's the easy part. When your team cuts up all your ginger for you, this is a good thing. So a generous amount of ginger. Some beautiful orange juice, freshly squeezed if you can. Something that has got lots and lots of impact, toasted sesame oil. And of course, gotta have a bit of garlic in there. Now this is garlic paste. Highly recommend if you can get that. It goes into this beautiful glaze so nicely. And to balance out all of the lovely flavors, we got a little bit of honey. Now, as you can see, you can just eyeball those up. It doesn't have to be exact. You just don't want to overwhelm it. The strongest of the flavors is actually the sesame oil, so be careful with that one. But you know, if you go over an extra half teaspoon on the garlic or the ginger, it's gonna be okay. So we're gonna give this a little mix. And next step, it's to go to the induction cooktop, and we're gonna reduce this by half. And this is gonna be the glaze for our salmon. All right, so all we wanna do is bring this up to an aggressive simmer and let it reduce by half. Literally, this takes just a couple of minutes on the induction cooktop. So my glaze is completely reduced by half, and now we're gonna let this actually sit and come more closer to room temperature. I don't wanna put a boiling hot glaze on a cold piece of salmon, so we're just gonna set this aside. In the meantime, let's talk salmon, shall we? I have a beautiful, gorgeous, skin-on piece of salmon. Now, I know you could just throw this on the grill and you could cook it as is, but I'd like to show you some tips and tricks to make it even better. One of the things about salmon is you'll notice that it's consistently thick in one section and it goes off into this very, very, very like ski slope section, okay? Now, I have been doing something for years that makes sure that your salmon is the same thickness all the way across. So what I like to do is grab a knife. Now, this is just a regular boning knife. What I want to do is I want to come down here just to where it starts sloping downwards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slice all the way down, and I'm going just down to the skin, okay? Right down to the skin section. Oh, I missed a little section there, okay? And here's what I'm going to show you. This section here, if we put it on the grill just as it is, okay? This section here is going to be the right temperature. This section over here is going to turn into salmon jerky because it's so much thinner than this thick section. But by doing that little cut, you can actually take it and tuck it right under. And look, magically, it's all the same thickness. Now, you also want to check for any pin bones. So run your hand up and down a couple of times. I'm not sure how I lucked out, but I don't need these today. You just want to make sure there's nothing in there. There's not a single pin bone in this. Now, the other section I would be concerned with is if your end section is super, super thin, you may want to trim it out, or once again, take a little cut and tuck it under. For me, it's all about consistency of thickness, because things that are consistently thick from one end to the other are going to stay more moist. Now, that's all there is to trimming it. There's one other secret thing that I use at all times for cooking fish, but I got to go back to the grill for that. And I'm going to grab my knife, because I always cook my fish on Traeger butcher paper every single time. Secret ingredient. All right, so have my paper. I have my trimmed up fish. Nice and easy. I'm going to trim a little bit off this end here. There we go. Get that gone. Now take a look at that. Nice consistent thickness from one end to the other on the Traeger butcher paper. And now we're going to finish it up and glaze it. Now we're putting this glaze on before we go to the grill, and it's now cooled down enough because we actually reduced this, let it sit, and now it's time to go to this beautiful, beautiful salmon. Look at all that. Now this is a bit chunky, and I like it a bit chunky. If you want this in a thinner glaze, you could actually throw it in a food processor. I love the little bits of ginger and garlic. I think they're attractive, and I think they're lovely little flavor bursts. There we go. I think we've got a lovely even coating. And once you're done that, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Okie dokie. Oh, that's so pretty. Looks great. All right, let's get rid of these dishes, get them gone. And then of course, we gotta add in some beautiful citrus. Look at these big, beautiful, thin slices of citrus. We're gonna add them all on. One more, I think we're good with that. Now, we're citrused, we're glazed, we're salt and peppered. But you know what? The number one thing people do is overcook their salmon. In general, most people way overcook their fish, and it becomes dry and, you know, just kind of not tasty at all. So on a lovely thick piece of fish, just like this, I would highly recommend you use a meter. Go in on an angle, just like that, into the thickest part of the fish, which is right in that center. and you're looking for a target temperature of about 140 degrees. For me, that'll still have enough carryover. It's not gonna be overcooked. It's gonna be delicate and delicious and moist. So it's time to go to the grill. All right, there we go. Gorgeous. Now, since we're here, we might as well take off one that's already cooked. How about that? All right, look at that beauty. It's so pretty. I think it looks glorious. So this beautiful, gorgeous salmon has been on the grill, I don't know, about 35, 40 minutes, somewhere in there, until it's approximately 140 degrees. And of course, your meter probe is gonna send that message right to your phone. You're gonna know. Now, look at the texture of these beautiful oranges. I've got no problem lifting the sides up because it's on the paper. Makes it super easy. There's lots of moisture pooling on this paper as well, also helping to keep this gorgeous salmon lovely and luscious. So we're gonna garnish this up a little bit. I have an orange, I have some fresh mint. I think it's always a nice idea to include some of the fresh ingredients before you serve it up. And at my house, we actually serve it right on the cutting board, right on the butcher paper. I think it's a lovely way to do it. Super simple, nice and fresh. And it's easy. I think it looks great on the paper. I really do. What an easy way for, you know, a lovely dinner party or just a quick weekday gathering. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Got a little knife. Get some more fresh orange going on. Just like this. Some lovely little wedges. A little more freshness going on here. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more. Are you ready for this? Because you know what? A little more fresh orange juice doesn't hurt. Lots and lots of flavor there. Some freshness. Also on the side, I'm gonna serve the rest of that remaining glaze. So if you wanna dip your salmon in, you can actually do that. All right, so here's the thing. It's easy to present like this. Another benefit I'm gonna show you of doing it on the Traeger paper. Watch this. So I've got my little knife, okay? Look at this. All of that lovely skin stays on the paper right there. Look at that, look at that, look at that. It's so much easier. Then we've got this beautiful, gorgeous, look at that, succulent, moist piece of salmon goodness. Garlicky, gingery, orangey, delightfulness. There you go. Delicious, beautiful garlic, ginger, orange salmon. This is gonna be your new go-to method of preparing fish on the grill. Traeger paper for the win. Trimming it up just a little bit so it's equal thickness all the way through. Remember, for this recipe, check out right below. Sign up, subscribe, like, come and find us on all our social channels because you want recipes like this on your grill. How to get fish done on the grill done perfectly every time at Traeger Grills.